Welcome back. We are here today with Hollie Heikkinen, CEO and founder of iWorker Innovations. Hollie, welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for taking the time with us. Hollie is a lifelong entrepreneur. She brings decades of experience to the world of independent work. She's an expert advisor to national associations and serves as a trustee and committee chair for the Committee for Economic Development and as a leading member of the Coalition for Workforce Innovation. Hollie, tell us about iWorker Innovations and how you came to start this company.
Yeah, so about 4.5 years ago, I started working on a project with the former CEO of Kelly Services. And that project was basically, how do we ensure that the 68 million independent workers in this country have fair access to political advocacy, worker protections, a community, a central and portable benefit structure, and then how did they have this experience that allows them to work in their chosen work style and be successful at it?
68 million is an extraordinary number. That's about the number of people who voted for Hillary Clinton in the 2016 election. That's an extraordinary number of unrepresented people.
Right, it's quite amazing. And that's McKinsey data. There's data all across the board, anywhere from 50-some million on up to the 68. But out of that 68 million, 22 million of those make all of their income as an independent worker. And then there's another 12 million that I also like to talk about. That's the 12 million that say that they too would choose to make all of their income as an independent worker if benefits access wasn't an issue. So that really sparked me in understanding what Kelly Services had done with their talent supply chain and how they were managing, millions of independent workers for their clients. It really sparked me and created an interest in how do we serve this group of people that every day get up and contribute to our U.S. economy, but yet they don't have protections like an employee would have.
Right.
And so there takes me to the journey to this day to speak to you.
That's wonderful. How have you found the reception to what you're doing at the corporate level, at the board level?
Yeah, so as corporate social responsibility becomes really a thing that every company needs to focus on, and more leaders of companies are becoming more worker focused. I want to say employer, and then the independent contractor worker focused. We have these moments where they are saying, what can we do as a company? How do we protect those independent contractors that are serving our company and obviously, increasing their profitability, a part of their revenue stream and all of that. So more and more leadership of large companies are looking at me and saying, we want to do something. We've talked about this. We know it's an inadequate, part of what the company is able to do. How do we partner with you to find solutions? So I'd say it's been very well received. It's taken a bit of time to make, a lot of people understand that we do have these inequalities that have taken place, and there's almost like this invisible workforce that is contributing. But once we kind of got through those times, people really see the relevance and see that we have created a solution that's relevant and applicable to their company.
That's fascinating. At the government level, have you found resistance? Have you found encouragement at the state or federal level?
Yeah, that's a great question. Thank you for asking it. Actually, I would say that what I have created has been very well received by both parties. When we talk about Democrats for a minute, what we're doing is, very social responsibility driven. And then we talk about Republicans who tend to be more entrepreneurial driven. They're receiving it too. Right. So I really haven't gotten a lot of opposition. I spend a lot of time in DC. I'm there at least once a month. I'm also a co-founder of a coalition called CWI, which is Coalition for Workforce Innovation. That coalition has been extremely strategic in basically making sure that the voice of the company is represented, and that we too have a voice that will help federal and state policy initiatives move forward in a favorable way to the company. Right. And then also, I must talk about my client for a minute. It's IPSI US. Okay. It's the National Association for Independent Workers. It's the first national association founded not on somebody's work type, but their work style. So IPSI exists to make sure that federal and state policies are favorable and paying attention to that independent workforce.
A workforce that's been ignored essentially for its entire existence.
Exactly.
Now, I would imagine that industry partnerships and corporate partnerships are a big part of what you do. Have you found companies to be receptive beneath the Fortune 500 level?
Beneath, yeah, and above the Fortune 500 level, really on both.
Right.
I mean, most companies nowadays somehow engage with independent contractors, somehow, some way.
Right.
So all of them, again, going back to this corporate social responsibility piece, they want to find ways to provide solutions that aren't putting their companies at risk for Department of Labor violations, and they're not treating them as employees, but what they're doing is giving us access to their workers so we could find ways that would be favorable to serving them.
Do you have some thoughts on California's recent legislation and how that's going to impact, without naming names, Uber and Lyft and other companies that have predominantly independent workforces?
Actually, Lyft is a part of the CWI
Okay.
coalition that I just referenced, so I do spend quite a bit of time with their policy lead there. I think that government needs to sometimes get out of the way of the people, and I say the words "the people" in really meaning that is, you know, sometimes we sit in a position where we think we know what is right for someone's life, but we really haven't spent the proper time in relationship talking and understanding why somebody does what they do or why somebody needs what they need. And so when I say that, I say to you, like, look at this workforce. These are people that are all the way from, you know, an Uber and a Lyft driver, all the way to very highly paid PhD scientists that are working independently. I've come to know, and I've spoken to so many people throughout the years, that the people that are choosing this type of work style are doing it for reasons that allow them to organize their life around their work instead of their work around their life. And in doing so, they might be able to get their child off to school. They might be able to stay home, you know, here and there to take care of an ailing, you know, dying parent. You know, there's just all these different reasons. The handicapped children that they have, you know, might pose different restrictions on them to work every day. We have to look at people and really just holistically think about why are they making these choices.
Oh, absolutely. I've got a personal interest in being able to be flexible to take care of family. Talk to me about the next 3 to 5 years for you, given the progress that you've made in just 4.5 years. What are your priorities over the next few years?
Yeah, so my main priorities are to partner up with the right companies that can really take the model I've created and push it forward and make sure that this independent workforce has more access, lower rates, and better protections than even an employee has. So I often talk about this in a way, and I hope it makes sense to people, but I have to use some depictive words to make sense of it. But if you would think of the best company in the country or the world that has an HR department that, you know, does everything and protects its workers and makes sure they have the best health care, they have access to all the benefits they need, they're, you know, not discriminated against, all these kinds of things. What I'm doing is to ensure that this independent workforce has even better than that, that these people that are choosing, again, every day to get up and contribute to this economy are protected.
That's wonderful.
Thank you.
Hollie Heikkinen, CEO, founder of iWorker Innovations. Thank you for your time, Hollie.
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure.
The 2019 Converge to Accelerate conference is brought to you by IEEE, the world's largest technical professional organization for the advancement of technology. Boehringer Ingelheim, passionately working to improve healthcare. NASCO, advancing digital health together. IPSI US, the Association of Independent Workers, for one, for all. Partners in Digital Health, publishers of the forward-reaching blockchain in Healthcare Today and Telehealth and Medicine Today. Special consideration to iWorker Innovations, taking the independent workforce to new heights. Connected Health Conference, designing for healthy habits and better outcomes. Haven Health Solutions, providing true blockchain transactional interoperability. Special thanks to Seaport World Trade Center for hosting us. And a special thanks to 1-800 Public Relations for all your PR and media support. We'll be right back after these messages. Don't go away.